All right, everybody. Turbulent founds a new game studio to create new worlds for Star Citizen. Turbulent is opening a Montreal game studio focused solely on creating star systems for Cloud Imperium Star Citizen. I have a lot to say about this. Let's get into some of the details here. The studio will be headed by CTO and co-founder Benoit Bézéjour and producer Guillaume Vogel, in addition to art director Pierre-Luc Bouillas and lead game designer Louis Rousseau. Benoit says, I am extremely proud to officially announce the creation of a Star Citizen development team in Montreal at Turbulent. Now, are they getting people that are currently employed by Cloud Imperium, or are they creating a new team? That's a big deal. You guys, I hope we realize that. There is a partnership between Turbulent and Cloud Imperium. Both own each other's shares. They both own a percentage of shares. There are members on the board of Turbulent in Cloud Imperium. I'm not quite sure if it's the other way around, but there is a serious investment with both companies on either side into this endeavor of Star Citizen. Turbulent is responsible for a lot of the design we see with the store for ships. They're involved with FOIP and VoIP features, and the tools used for creating systems. I believe, I hope what we're seeing with the tools in Planetech, V4, these types of things are going to be transported to the Montreal, the new studio. How long it is going to take to get this initiated, no one knows. Why this is happening? That's another good question that I don't see content creators asking. Like, why is this happening? Is it because of delays? Is it to streamline? A lot of people are saying, like this is subcontracted work. In a way, it kind of is, because you're outsourcing the work. But on the other hand, it's not really purely the sense of subcontracting, because there is a partnership already existing, but it's still outside the realm of Cloud Imperium. So a lot of things to be thinking about when we're talking about this. This is a big piece of news. Benoit says, Montreal has an amazing talent pool of developers and a rich video game history, and we couldn't be happier to add the very best local talent to work with SIG family. So, okay, they're adding local people from the Montreal area in there. We answered our own question, it sounds like. It sounds like they're going to be bringing in all new people. They said they can't be happier to add the very best local talent to work with SIG family on the focus goal of building worlds for this unprecedented, persistent universe. The new studio will be fully independent based on unique Montreal culture and will contribute to the global development roadmap of Star Citizen, which currently is being developed across multiple countries, the United States, United Kingdom, and Germany. So this is their 5th studio, I believe. Erad, are you shitting all over my video, dude? For my pronunciation again? Do you really want me to start over? Mongliella. Bellissimo. See, that's the Italian in me. Oh, I think I know what I need to do to this video. Where's the kick button? Hold on, let me see if I can kick Erad out of the chat. The team will work on new tools to both enhance and expand plans currently in place, including creating new features and star systems for Star Citizen. Additionally, it will grow up to 100 developers in the future. And then we got another comment here. Who's this from? Let's see. Over the years, Turbulent has proven themselves to be an extremely reliable and creative partner, said Chief Development Officer and co-founder of Cloud Imperium Games. Okay. Who? Chief Development Officer and co-founder of who's this? Where's the name? We don't have a name here. We didn't report. on that. We entered into a partnership with Benoit and the team at Turbulent 8 years ago. Is it Aaron? Aaron's personally, I think Aaron's incompetent. That's just me. That's my personal opinion about Aaron. But interesting. We entered into a partnership with Benoit and the team at Turbulent 8 years ago, first to help us develop our presence and then our publishing and platform capabilities. Their hard work and efforts have been integral to our success. By the way, if you guys think I'm a little too harsh on Aaron, you can look at a pillar talk where Aaron appears and it's just horrible. It might have been like jitters in front of the camera, you know, but like it was like about as much information you could squeeze out as like water from a rock. It was just one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life when Aaron got on there. It was a terrible appearance. It was not informative. It was horrible. Thank you, DY. Thank you, dude. Their hard work and efforts have been integral to our success. It's a natural progression of our close relationship, but we've now asked them to build out a dedicated content team from Montreal's finest developers to help us create entire new star systems for the Star Citizen persistent universe. I couldn't be happier to welcome. Okay, I'm not getting into those names because then Erad's gonna shit all over my head again, and I'm just not in the mode. So what I did was, boom. I said, what do you guys think? Now, here's a poll we have going on in our community tab. I wanted to get an idea what you guys think. Let's move the chat back down here if we can. Actually, let me scroll up here so we can see you guys again. I love to see what the fam is saying. Let me get on the right side as well. Oh, hey, look, I got a big professional. Look at my basement behind the green screen. All right, let's do that. And then let's read your comments. Only 250 votes. We really haven't had this poll out longer than a day. That's what she said. Well, that doesn't make any sense. All right, so here we go. Here is the actual question I posed to the community after this. Star Citizen News and Community Poll. So I have here an announcement was made that Turbulent, responsible for designing and managing of the web store, as well as being responsible for VoIP and FOIP features and design of the ARC map, by the way, which is awesome. I love the ARC map. Will be opening a new studio in Montreal that is solely focused on expanding the tools currently used for system building in Star Citizen. Are you happy about this? Worried about this? Or don't care? Let me know in this poll and please comment. So we're going to go over your comments. We're going to go over the vote here. Let me move the chat just slightly, ever so slightly, so that you guys aren't running into. Let's see if we can move it down here. Let's see when you guys start typing. Hopefully, there we go. Voted and commented. Okay, good. Yeah, make sure you guys are doing that. And we're going to go over this. And let me drink a little coffee here because we've been going a while at this. Have been going a while. So an overwhelming amount of people. This is such a small sample. Usually we have like 400, 500, 600 people involved. But I think it's because I've been away for a while that we don't really have like a ton of big sample on this. But it's okay. 250 people is a sample size. 77% of people think that this is a good move. That is an overwhelming amount of people. All right, Erad. That is an overwhelming amount of people. Versus only 7% that are worried about like outside workers and employees that are being brought in to the project right now in terms of designing systems. And 16% don't care. It's interesting. That is a very interesting, like 77%. When I get nervous when I see the results like this, when it's so overwhelmingly lopsided in one category, I get really nervous about this. I think it's my responsibility as a content creator to like remind everybody, like I'll give people an example when and you know, this might not be the best analogy, but I work in a field of the building field. Okay. Commercial projects, large commercial projects. In fact, I'm working on one right now that is a retirement home. It's huge. Absolutely huge. All right. Let me move the chat a little bit over here too, so we can get Don't say people have seats on the board of Turbulent, so not a subcontractor like as it could be. Right. It's less subcontractor. It's more like a merger, right? It's more like a merger. Absolutely. But we also have to realize that in the traditional sense of like, if we want to define this, they're a partnership, right? Right. So this isn't like subcontracting work, but in the reality of it is that these are outside people. Let's not dress it up. Let's be real about this. These are outside people coming into a project that has been going for 8 years. And if they bring people in from Cloud Imperium that have been working there for a while on, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. If these are all brand new people that they're bringing into the project, then essentially it is somewhat like subcontracting the work out, essentially, even though that we have a merger here, even though that there's a partnership, right? You're bringing in people from the outside who might not even know what's going on. So we have to be real about it, right? So in my field, as I was saying, in my field, yeah, right, tech. In my field, I do a lot of electrical work. I do a lot of electrical design on blueprints. So my job is to professionally light large areas, and I'll put in a lot of the electrical wiring as far as diagramming. I do a lot of that type of work. Anyway, so I've been involved with a lot of different commercial projects, and what ends up happening is the general contractor will only bring in subcontractors if the project is having some issues. Again, this is in my field. This could be completely different in the gaming development world. Okay. And really, really messy jobs usually end up having tons of subcontracting work. And because you're bringing in people from the outside, generally the jobs are subpar. By the time everything gets finished, everything turns out to be subpar and is a big old cluster. That's usually what ends up happening, because you're bringing in everybody from the outside. They don't know what's going on. They're asking the general contractor what they want, or they don't even give a shit. General contractor's trying to tell them what they need done, and it usually ends up being a giant cluster. Now, that is in that situation. So when I saw this news, it wasn't good for me, because I related it to my own field. I said, oh my God, they're bringing in people from the outside in. Maybe this isn't best. But on the other side of the coin, it's really hard to hire software devs, says Dev. There is such an undersupply. Also, gaming sector doesn't pay well relatively, so it's even harder for them. Good information, Dev. Right. And again, I am not in this field. I know a bit about it because of the research I put into this project and others in game development over the past 5 years. I got an understanding from the outside looking in, not from the inside looking out. So realize that when I talk about this, right? But generally speaking, in my field, it's not always great to bring outside people in. Now, on the flip side of the coin, they're bringing in more people. So there is a discussion to be had there where, like, hey, we're bringing in more people, so we're going to be able to fix the problem faster. We're going to be able to pump out these systems. Well, we're still waiting on the tech needed to bring out these systems, right? Doesn't mean they can't work on it in the meantime. But is throwing more people at a problem usually the best way to solve something? Not in my opinion. Usually finding the right people. Not just like the sheer number or the sheer quantity of throwing people at a problem, seeing if it sticks on the wall is usually not the way to go about it. That comes down to like management. And that's where I come into this, and I'm not going to filter my thoughts because I'm worried about, keeping subscribers. Like, I will always tell you guys the way that I feel, truthfully, when things are happening in this project, because it's my responsibility as a content creator to talk about concerns that I have. So, like, I wasn't as positive as many other people. Again, I want to layer this with the fact that I was hugely positive on 3.11, while other content creators did not like 3.11. So I also want to put that in there as well. There were tons of people saying 3.11 isn't important. I've got a video about it. Not a lot of people watched it, But like where content creators were kind of dissing 3.11, I said, wait, 3.11 is really important in terms of the game design in law and armistice zones and the sentries and turrets that have been added, and it's setting the groundwork for what we're going to have as a law system. So I want people to understand, like, you know, I'm not just one way or the other about this project, okay? But when it comes to like the real world and this project, the employees and the business, I like to express my concerns. So this is a concern I have. So I actually land in the 7%. I actually land in the 7% here. And it concerns me when I'm seeing the poll and I see 77% of people are like, yeah, all right. So I wanted to kind of just flavor it for you guys so that you can get a perspective of those 7%. I really just wanted you guys to understand why you're having 7% of people voting that way. Now let's look at comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. We got how many comments here? 20. Okay. Ted says Turbulent is a partially owned subsidiary. It's not entirely outsourcing. Yeah, but let's be real again, Ted, though, right? Like, again, it sounds to me like it's going to be all outside work. Now, we don't have the answers yet. We'll need answers to these questions. I hope. Apparently, Nubifier's gone over there and done an interview. I really hope he does a thorough interview and asks some hardball questions, not just throws them all softballs. You know, even though he's no bullshit, sometimes there is a bit of bullshit. So I hope that he's going to ask them like questions that are relevant. Like, hey, is this all new people? Are we bringing in people from existing teams? I hope so. I mean, proper management would mean that you would bring in people already that are familiar with the tools to create these systems and incorporate them. But then you're talking about moving people to Montreal, or possibly not. They just technology now, Zoom, all these things. You know, maybe there's no move required. You know, whatever. But like, hopefully they are bringing in people from Cloud Imperium that are currently adept, that know the tools and can then, you know, help develop this team. Dev says it sounds like they are struggling to hire devs and they are making use of a skill set found at a specific location. Right. I get why it may seem bad. However, to me, it sounds like they are trying. Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever as well. I just want to express concerns as well, Dev. You understand? I know Dev knows. Steel Walrus says overall good move. I think, however, I speak for many when I say that my expectations of progress are now much higher than before. That's an interesting comment, Steel. That's an interesting comment, dude. Yeah, right, Darlike. right, dude. Sean says, I think this is a good move. FOIP isn't where it needs to be. Absolutely agree. FOIP is not where it needs to be. I showed a video early on about Christy and I giving an Aegis Gladius away, and the FOIP features are nowhere near where they need to be. Nowhere. There needs to be so much work done with FOIP. As a content creator, I love FOIP. I know a lot of people go, oh, FOIP. FOIP is face over internet protocol. You put your camera out there, it looks at your face, and your character does the same thing as your face does. That's what FOIP is. And I got Christy on there. I do videos myself where I get on there, and it takes a while to get everything correct. No matter how much you calibrate, I got a great camera, I got a good system. No matter how many times I calibrate it, I always have issues. There's a lot more work to be done with FOIP. It's an important feature. It's an important feature. Yeah. It is. That's a good comment. He's right. There needs to be more work done. Erad. Just making fun of my pronunciations of the French names. Darlek says, I got a friend to try SC the other day. He spent a good 5 minutes just messing with FOIP and the character creator, then the game crashed. Yes. Christy was completely frustrated with the whole process of creating the character, that she couldn't save the character, getting on FOIP. That video is coming out soon. I'm going to do video. For our VIPs, I'm going to put the blooper video out. My face was made for FOIP, but I agree. FOIP. Tech. That's funny, dude. Erad says, I'm excited. As soon as we have server meshing, the content will flow. I would say this to Erad. This makes me a little bit worried because the only systems I've seen, I felt like this whole time that there was a lot of work going into system creation. I mean, we saw Pyro, we saw Pyro inside Star Citizen. We talked about that. We saw leaks of Terra over 5 years ago. We saw leaks of Terra here on the channel. I think I was the first to release those leaks. So I was under this impression that there was a lot of work going into system creation, and now I'm worried. Yeah, we saw the Knicks landing, right? But I gotta say, this news actually made me doubt it. Like, I almost feel like they're bringing in people because they're nowhere near where they need to be. Again, this goes back to my own experience in the commercial building world. When a project starts to get delayed and they're not going to make their timeline, they usually bring on a lot of outside sourcing because they need to get it done. So they bring that in thinking like, hey, let's get more manpower and let's get this thing going, because they're nowhere near where they need to be. So that's again, using my own real life kind of experience here. But again, totally different feel. Steve B says, I'm trying to think of the positives. Perhaps with these guys in their own bubble over there in Montreal, they may strive to stand out more by producing noteworthy updates. I can dream. I think like what Steve is saying is like, I'm hoping, like when I read Steve's comment, I'm hoping that it's not just like all brand new people. I think that would be a cluster. I am hoping that they integrate people. I couldn't imagine that they wouldn't. It would be the worst managerial move in history if they do not bring in people that are already familiar with the tools. So I have to give Cloud Imperium the benefit of the doubt. maybe Jay, that's a possibility, dude. And, when it comes down to it, you look at these other studios, thousands of developers, like CD Projekt Red, stuff like that. Perhaps Cloud Imperium's just, buying it up. They're taking a page out of the notebook from Microsoft. Could be that. Could be that, like, Chris is just like, hey, we'll buy him. Just buy. That's not a bad move. That could be positive. I could be reading this wrong. I just got a really bad feeling. Like, I don't know. It just hit me weird. The news hit me, I think. I don't see a lot of other content creators expressing concern. And then when I see the vote on our own poll at 77%, so lopsided, it just makes me go, wait a second. I'm on the other side of the spectrum here with the way I'm thinking. It was a little strange for me. Robert says, Turbulent has proven themselves and is integral to Cloud Imperium's success. So word up, says Robert. Okay, so he's not worried. Chris says Montreal is a hub for game developers. Yes, it's huge. It's a lot easier to hire more when they are physically located in the same city as the studio. That makes sense. And that makes sense too, like location, right? The location of it. But let's remember that Turbulent is not Cloud Imperium yet. See, if I were Chris, I'd do more than just like a partnership with Turbulent. I'd buy them. See, and I don't think they have the funds to do it, but if I were Chris, I'd just go over to Benoit and I'd say, hey buddy, what do you think about selling your business to me? Let's just buy you up, right? I'd feel a lot more comfortable that way, right? Makes more sense to me, because when you're dealing with partnerships, it can get really messy. Eagle says, I mean, is this saying without this move, they would never have given this expanded star systems? They have had 100 open positions for 3 years unified, or 3 years unfiled. Maybe they took a page out of Microsoft's playbook and that it's easier to buy studios than make them. Yeah, dude, like I actually agree with Eagle there. That I think they're using a Microsoft kind of game plan. But they haven't bought them. They really haven't bought them though, Eagle. And that's the thing, Jay says at some point SIG has probably realized without a dedicated studio for systems, they won't be able to put 100 systems in the game at current production levels. Absolutely. I think that's a very rational thought, Jay. And so you might as well start somewhere, right, Jay? Yeah. When do you think we see Spectrum in game? Oh, it'll be a while. I think, though, that we're taking the right steps, mind's eye, with the building blocks and the way that building blocks is being implemented right now. So it might not be as long as we think, but I still think at least about a year. Or possibly a bit longer, but I don't think any longer than that, mind's eye. Well, it says possibly that now that the tools for planets are mature, they can outsource with confidence. Possibly. I mean, a lot of this is speculation, right? Until we learn. Like, my biggest questions are this. A, are there going to be people integrated in the teams that are currently existing for planet creation with the Montreal team, and will they lead it? B, let's talk about what is done. What currently is done? It needs to be talked about. Like, how many systems are done? How many systems are in progress? Perhaps a roadmap on those systems. You know, like, we have to start seeing this work. Like, this has to be transparent to us. I'm tired of guessing. I'm tired of speculating. I just want to see it. Like, just let us know what's done. You don't even have to show us. Just tell us, write it down. What do we got done? I mean, they showed us Pyro. They showed us where they are at with Pyro. That's good. Let's talk about other systems. We know one of our members here in the fam said Nyx. They showed us the Nyx landing. We know Nyx is at least started. Yeah, I would suspect that too as well, Jay. It would. I couldn't imagine that they would not bring anybody aboard. That would be the dumbest managerial decision ever. So yeah, Jay, I agree with you too, bro. Anarchy says, pros, this could be a good thing. Adding more staff, adding productivity means a better game faster, maybe. I don't always agree with that. Like, you know what, Anarchy? Like, here's the thing I think when people say this is that and not trying to be mean or throw you under the bus, Anarchy, but like, I don't always think that the best way at getting timelines to getting to the goal of your timeline is just to continually throw people at a problem. Like, okay, we're going to throw more people, so it's going to get done faster. And a lot of times that line of thinking will actually delay it further because you're bringing in more people. They don't know what's going on. It gets more confusing. It's like putting more cooks in a kitchen, you know? Considering we're already in bed with them or they're in bed with SIG, they should get the flow, but adding new members to the staff could slow the process down. Aha. See, there you go. Anarchy comes up with like some rationality. I like that. Togar, what's up? Haven't seen Togar in forever. Turbulent seems really overwhelmed or understaffed since so many Spectrum and VoIP integration functions that were talked about 4 years ago are not done yet. Yes. And they are not reinventing the wheel like SIG. A lot of the stuff is simpler and just needs more people working on these things. They need more people working on that. But subcontracting can always lead to more issues. And again, this isn't like traditionally the sense of the word subcontracting, because I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of shit for that. I know a lot of people are going to say, but this isn't subcontracting, DG. And I hopefully expressed my concerns effectively enough to make people understand that I understand it. And that these two entities are a partnership, but in essence, these are outside people in terms of the project and what they usually do for Cloud Imperium versus what they're going to be doing now. Sergeant Snoke says Squadron 42. Jonathan says this is a good move. Turbulent is partially owned by SIG and RSI. They have already been working together from they have been plus having a studio. Just how closely, not sure, but yes, they have been working together for quite a bit and own one another. The best user says, I like this move. These are super important tools which are absolutely essential for SC. A whole studio dedicated to this is a pretty good sign of a focus on system building in the near and long-term future. Yes, like they are at least setting the groundworks now. Darlek says, best case scenario, the SIG teams that worked on planets can be free to work on other content. Worst case, SIG can now have multiple teams working on planets. Seems like a win-win to me. In terms of workload, Darlak, if you're just I wouldn't necessarily agree with that comment. I wouldn't necessarily agree for some of the reasons I've spoke about, but I get where you're coming from, Darlak. I get where you're coming from, man. Anyway, a whole studio dedicated to this seems a pretty good sign of a focus on system building in the near and long-term future, says the best user. And he says, I'm sorry, DG. I can't help myself. Pet peeve. I could care less means you must at least care about the topic. Oh, is they're correcting my English again. Okay, yes. I couldn't care less is what I meant to say. It was a typo. It's okay. I'll heart you for trying to correct me like Erad does on my videos. Let's see. Mac. What does Mac have to say? So if you're worried, what can you do? Make another angry post like people did with the MSR? Nothing much will change for us anyways. And what brings and what it brings is anyone's guess. At this moment, I couldn't care less about this. I personally think we have other things to worry about than this. Max is putting it down like he's like, hey, this is what I think. I don't give a shit. You can do a lot, actually, as like, and this is what I try and tell people in not just Star Citizen, in other games and game development where they're counting money from the gamers that are playing their games. Again, we can talk about Dual Universe. We can talk about other games that relied upon the gamers, that relied upon people that are actually giving money to help support the project. There's a lot of power in that. There is a ton of power in that. And if that voice is unified and makes decisions that are rational based upon, the voice having a center, then there is extreme power in that. And we can make a difference. And, I get that this is Chris's game, but in essence, we've all been part of this journey to the point where we feel like, hey, it's our game too. And that's rightly so. Rightly so. We should feel that way. Right, mind's eye, absolutely. So I don't subscribe to like we don't have any power. I don't subscribe to like it's just Chris's game. It's been 8 years of us being along with this project. Let's be real. Let's just speak real. But thank you, Mac. Thank you for that. Moon says, what's up, Moon Shadow? This is a good move, being that a company like SIG is making moves based on the positive results they are getting internally. This means server meshing is happening, and iCache will be a thing in 2021. I'm not quite sure that's what it means. If these two techs were not showing results, then this move for expanding to Canada for the sake of making the star systems would not be happening right now. Possibly. I mean, this could be going on behind the scenes. I don't know, but this is like more speculation. So I'm not quite sure, Moon. I'm not sure if this is in fact happening because we just don't have enough information about how much has been completed. He says this is a very good thing. 100 developers too. Pyro is made within a year with a lot less, and the only thing holding Pyro back is a server meshing. Absolutely. iCache tech. Yeah. Dynamic server meshing. We talk about that all the time. I see a bright future for this game as it's becoming more and more enjoyable to play. Even with bugs, I played this week for 10 hours straight with no crash. It's been extremely stable for me, right? I've had the same experience right now with the IE. It's been extremely stable for me. But again, I see plenty of people in our community saying it's not. And we talk about this all the time. We have to start focusing on stability. Why is my experience different from Darlac's experience? Why is my experience different from J-Dub's experience, right? There's a lot of different factors, but generally speaking, it has a lot to do with server-based issues. So we have to have more stability with this experience that we're all having so that our experiences merge and that overall, generally, they are good experiences. That's what we start with. We got to start working on the stability factor in this game. Yes, it is an alpha. We understand. But we still need a shit ton more stability. That is what I want the work to be put towards. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're putting a lot of work towards that. Lord says, pay more people less for trash work. Well, that's just a negative comment, Lord. I wouldn't say that everything like Lord is obviously really angry here. Pay more people less for trash work. That's how I hear him. Come on, Lord, don't be that guy, man. There's a lot that has been done that is positive. I just can't subscribe to an overall extremist view one way or the other. There's a lot of gray in the middle. When people go like completely negative mode or when people completely go positive mode, I feel like it's my responsibility to pull both sides in and be like, guys, listen, let's be rational about things, man. So no offense, Lord, but pay more people less for trash work. I can't subscribe to that. I can't subscribe to it. It's just not me. I'll never be that. There's no way that what I've seen, there's plenty of work that's not trash. There's plenty. Perhaps perhaps look at what the people are being paid versus the work output and the quality of the work. Okay, you want to talk that way? I'll listen. I'll listen to that. But I'm not going to listen to pay more people less for trash work. I can't do that. I can't do it. David Bland, what's up, David? How you doing? David says, if they don't, it will never get finished. If it is done right, they can do this. 1-star system per year isn't fast enough. Absolutely agree. Yeah. We need more. We need systems being put online. But again, we're just stuck with this roadblock with the server issues. Yeah, right. Red Bear, that is a good one. But that's people that don't understand the actual development. That's people that don't understand the field of game development, Red Bear. So I don't get too mad when I hear that, because it's just, people that aren't aware of what the gaming industry is, So that's funny. Hey, Red Bear, how you doing, dude? It's good to see you on the stream, man. Miss you, dude. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope this turned out to be Ilphonic all over again. Oh my God, dude. Razor. Don't get me started, bro. Oh man. I'm right there with you, dude. Tex says, what's up, Tex? Tex is awesome, dude. Tex says, the people at Turbulent are completely inept. I received a sanction on Spectrum for pointing this out. I'd hope things might change after SIG bought a chunk of it. Contracting things out, no prob. Anything from Spectrum, A, pass. Oh boy, Tex. So there we go. Those are your comments going over this. Thanks for everybody who have participated on this poll. Again, we have 253 votes. Amazingly, overwhelmingly, 77% of people think this is a great move. I hope I expressed my concerns succinctly. And thanks everybody for taking the time to watch this. Let's get back to the live show.